Anytime you recall learned information from long-term memory, you're doing retrieval practice. Retrieval practice is the single most useful learning strategy there is. I'll repeat that, it is the single most useful learning strategy there is. It's not the same as straightforward repetition or rehearsal, which, as we already know, only keeps things in short-term memory. Simply answering questions from memory is often the easiest way to practice retrieval. Remember to test yourself on a topic you've not looked at for a while, as you want to test your long-term memory, not your short-term. After writing your answers, it's crucial that you check the questions you got wrong. If you don't understand why, do some wider reading or ask your teacher, and make sure to take notes. Then set yourself a time in the future to retest on this topic again. Make flashcards on key terminology by putting the term on one side and the definition on the other. When you test yourself on these, make sure that you're retrieving the answers from memory. Students often tend to tell themselves they know the answer rather than taking a few extra seconds to actually recall it. Ideally say it out loud or write it down before flipping the card over. This difference in timing is subtle but really important. You'll not get the benefits from retrieval practice using flashcards unless you actually retrieve the answer before seeing it. Keep going through the cards on that topic until you get them all right, and then set a date in the future to go through them again. Free recall is simply writing down or drawing everything you know on a topic. Once you've done this, refer to your notes to see what you missed, add any missing information, and then set a date in the future to repeat this again. There have been over 100 years of research on retrieval practice. In this particular example, the students who studied material for longer actually forgot more of it over a week than those who studied for less time but were tested more. Research paper after research paper has replicated these findings. It definitely works. Ask yourself, is retrieval practice the most powerful learning strategy that you're not using? Every time you retrieve information from memory, you make the pathway to that information stronger. It's a lot like walking down a forest path. If you keep walking that path, it will become more distinct and easier to find next time. If you only walk the path once, it will become overgrown and hard to find. In the same way, the more practice retrieving information, the more firmly you'll lodge it into your long-term memory and the easier it will be to recall. Warning: practicing retrieval can and should be hard, and this is precisely why it works. You have to forget a little before you remember long term. The act of struggling to learn is actually much more effective than simply rereading, taking notes, or watching videos on their own. So prepare to fail sometimes, but don't give up.